All right. Gonna end this Serie segment with a talk about urban warfare. And what I'm talking about is the Rome Derby. Article from ESPN. This is about off the pitch stuff, not just on the pitch. On the pitch, saw 1-1 draw, but off the pitch, there were some things going on. It says the toll from clashes between violent fans and police of the weekend's Rome Derby includes 24 law enforcement officers injured, 7 arrests, and at least 40,000 euros in damaged garbage dumpsters. Officials in the capital were still trying to sum up the damage after fans on Sunday attacked police in riot gear in a heavily populated area where people had been gathering ahead of the Serie game between Lazio and Roma. I am disgusted, said the Rome mayor Roberto Gulattieri. It's unacceptable that hooligans transform a day of sport into a scene of urban warfare. Some 2,000 police officers were stationed at various flashpoints around the Stadio Olimpico and swept into action when Lazio's hardcore ultra fans attempted to push through a barred-off area. Laziale ultras acting off? No, that wouldn't happen, would it? Fans reacted to the intervention by launching fireworks and other objects at the police officers. Police then responded with tear gas and water cannons. Here's some of the pictures here of the Laziale. Serie League judge Gerardo Mastrandrea on Tuesday announced that he would wait for a more comprehensive report about the clashes before deciding any punishment for the clubs. But he did order fines of 6,000 euros for Roma and 4,000 for Lazio because supporters of the clubs threw flares toward the field during the game. Seven flares were reported from the Roma end and 4 from Lazio end. The derby was restored at 8:45 p.m. kickoff this season after 6 years of earlier start times in order to avoid violence. Now next year's games will likely start earlier again. Lazio and Roma both expressed solidarity with the injured police officers and denounced the violence. The game ended 1-1. The derby was plagued with violence for years. In 2004, the derby was suspended due to a false rumor that police had killed a boy outside the stadium. In January, a car went up in flames outside the stadium before the season's first derby. Wow. All right. First of all, if I don't know how they would have evidence of this, of the violence that went on, but you'll clearly be able to tell if it's Roma or Lazio based on the colors. Ultras tend to wear a lot of black, so that's very neutral for most teams. But you'll see the blue or the red or the orange, which will give it away, big giveaway, right? But I think if they have evidence, they need to go after the club. We've seen it many times where I don't necessarily agree with it, but the clubs have been punished for their fans, and you have to monitor your fans, and if you're afraid to go after your fans, if you don't control your fans, then they're gonna have to pay for it. The clubs have to pay for it. It's too many teams around the world where the behavior of the hooligans, the ultras of the fans, the fan bases, are acting out of control. It makes it unsafe. Many people just want to go there and have fun and watch a game, bring their families and stuff like that. And you can't do that when you got the ultras acting like they do, right? I'm sick of watching European nights, and then, one team comes from outside the country and destroys the city. It's unacceptable. So if they find out it's Laziale or Romanisti who were involved in this, find the club. And better be more than 6,000 and 4,000 euros respectively at the club's face for the flares. Maybe it means a match behind closed doors. I don't know. It sucks too because the fans who didn't do anything, they got to pay for it too, right? But something has to happen, and they've tried to ban certain people from entering stadiums, but the ultras, they always find a way to get in, right? How many times that we've seen where a certain ultra leader gets banned because of something he did or said, but he still shows up at the game anyway, right? He just buys a ticket through somebody else and gets in no matter what. And they all have the insides, right? So I don't know. It's